The following clip shows how Christians follow blindly a primitive, medieval concept of God.
No, anthropomorphized in terms of...
Anthropomorphic?
Anthropomorphic, that's right, anthropomorphic, yeah.
How exactly does that follow?
Well, basically, all the cultures, all the civilizations in history, they've always had an anthropomorphic concept of God.
Okay, and does that mean that a trait of a God that doesn't exist is being anthropomorphic? Like, what you're saying is that, like, oh, I can't believe you believe in anthropomorphic God. Firstly, how does that follow under the Trinitarian understanding? And secondly, so far...
It's a very primitive concept because it comes from our own imagination, or our own projection of ourselves.
Do you believe in, like, the concept of a thitra?
That you're worshipping a man.
Okay, we've established that.
Which is wrong.
Now, what is the problem?
What
is the problem? Now, what is the problem?
Because a man cannot be God.
Or can God become a man?
It is not in his majesty.
Okay. When you say something is not within the majesty of God, is that picking out actions that God won't do, or he's physically unable to do?
He can do that.
Okay, so my God's majesty is to be able to incarnate as a human person, in which then, because it is not something that contradicts, it's simply something that your God has not decided to do, that's absolutely fine. Now what's the problem?
Well, we'll just have to agree to disagree. As simple as that.
Well, so far you haven't disagreed with anything.
Well, if you go back sort of say 50 years, and then you look at science fiction movies, and they sort of say, right, if aliens came to Earth and they wanted to defeat mankind, the general consensus in those movies was they'll come with their huge spaceships, with massive machines, yes, to wipe out mankind and take over the world. Now that thinking has evolved.
Wait, so...
No.
So the Christian belief derives from a 50s understanding of sci-fi movies.
Now that thinking has evolved in terms of, if an alien race wanted to take over the planet, they would just release a tiny particle, a single virus, engineered to wipe out the human race. There'd be no big machines, no big spaceships.
What are you talking about?
Our intellectual thinking has now evolved.
Why are you talking about sci-fi movies from the 50s, man? Get to your point.
Because before we thought that the aliens were thinking the same way that we were thinking at the time.
You're talking about a 2,000-year-old religion. Why are you mentioning sci-fi movies?
A 2,000-year-old religion. And what people used to think 50 years ago in terms of how, because they could...
Do you know I could say the same thing about Muslims, right?
Well, there's a pure concept of God in Surah 112.
Well, not even that. I could just say, well, why do I have to believe in this 7th century guy who very obviously has the morals of a 7th century person?
Because the concept of God in the Quran, which is Surah 112, is very close to...
That's not what I'm saying.
The science fiction...
That's not what I'm saying. If you want to say that our understanding of things have gradually developed...
That's changed, yes,
okay.
Advanced.
Why, if... Go on then. Nice to meet you, sir.
Oh, you too. But I just try to concentrate on the core principles, which is God is one. Okay, well, leave it there. Nice talking with you.
Nice talking to you, my friend.
You too. Okay, thanks.